Okay, so this past semester I completed my senior capstone. I wanted to choose a topic that wasn't really talked about as in depth as I thought it should be, so I chose Japanese internment. Um, I was encouraged to kind of focus in on something, so I decided to pick John L. DeWitt. So, how he influenced Japanese internment and made decisions for it. Um, and then I was also encouraged not to write my research as a condemnation of John L. DeWitt and focus more on how his decisions reflected the time period that he was living in. So the first thing I looked into was how did he grow up? What did he look like? What did all of that look like? So he grew up in a military family. There's not much that directs towards racism within his family. His dad and his brothers were all a part of the military, but then you start to see the shift in his racial prejudice when he serves time in the Philippines. You kind of start to see where he starts developing this prejudice for Asian Americans and just people of Asian descent. So you kind of see that, and then years later, Pearl Harbor happens, and he recognizes this as something that is going to change America's minds about people of Asian descent, and he acts on it. And he starts talking with different people, and he's placed in charge of the Western Defense Command. And he's working closely with Franklin Roosevelt to make decisions about what we should do. So he has a strong influence in Executive Order 9066, which is going to say that we need to do whatever's necessary to protect America. So the way that they do that is they put Japanese Americans into Japanese internment camps. And we see that John L. DeWitt is kind of very open about how he feels about Japanese Americans and people of Asian descent. Like he's not hiding it at all, but he knows that he can take advantage of that because other people are also feeling that way. They're scared, so they're going to listen to him. They also trust him. He's a very highly regarded guy, so they think, okay, well, this is what he's saying. This is how he's going to protect us. Let's just go with it. I was mentioning earlier, I think the most interesting part of this research was the aftermath that we see. So after he made these decisions, he became kind of highly controversial towards the end of it, and was actually removed from his position on the Western Defense Command when we start to let people out of the internment camps, and they don't have jobs, they don't have housing anymore because they had to leave everything behind. So he starts becoming really, really controversial. But since he was still so highly regarded in the government, he's just moved into a new position, being over a military program at a university. So it just goes to show that in this time period, because everyone was so scared, they don't know what they would have done differently than John DeWitt. So definitely an interesting project to take up, and just kind of put myself into the shoes of what was going on at the time to kind of see where his brain was at, and why he was so influential in doing what he did. So, yeah.